welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashingsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa inaugurates the national program to develop 100,000 kilometers of roads. Sri Lanka's only confirmed coronavirus patient discharged after making a full recovery. News in detail. The national program to develop 100,000 kilometers of roads was kicked off under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in Deltota in Kandy today. The intention of this project, which is led by the Roads and Highways Ministry, provincial councils and local government institutions and other institutions related to road development, is to develop 100,000 kilometers of roads which will directly contribute to the economy of the country. Hence, the existing road network will be developed by carpeting the road network, identifying the developing alternative roads and developing rural roads. By this program, 12,380 kilometers of roads directly under the Road Development Authority of the Ministry of Roads and Highways will be carpeted on priority basis. Moreover, it has been planned to develop 16,000 kilometers of roads which are part of the provincial road network, and under this program, identified alternative roads will be widened to reduce the high traffic congestion in cities such as Colombo, Kandy, Kurunegala, Ratnapura, Galle and Mathura. Health Ministry officials discharged the tourist from China who was treated for the novel coronavirus this morning after making a full recovery. Accordingly, 43-year-old female Chinese woman who is the Sri Lanka's only confirmed coronavirus patient received a warm farewell in leaving the hospital. The female Chinese woman was admitted to the National Institute of Infectious Diseases on the 25th of January. The hospital's head of epidemiology unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, said that she is leaving the hospital today as a fully recovered person. At the function organized by the ministry, she was received by Health Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi and Director General Health Services Anil Jaisinghe. Dr. Samaravira added that the hospital has admitted a number of patients with flu symptoms for treatment, but other than the tourists from China, no others had been confirmed as having the disease. Meanwhile, the government has taken measures to screen all arriving passengers at airports and ports and has also tightened visas for Chinese tourists from some cities. Further, visitors from China have to fill a form giving their itinerary, and they are visited each day by a regional health official for a health check. Meanwhile, COVID-19 has now claimed 2,004 lives in China, according to the latest Chinese data released on Wednesday. There have been 74,185 confirmed infections recorded in mainland China and about 700 cases in other countries. The World Health Organization has said the death rate is about 2.3% from reported cases, and it was below 1% for people in their 30s and 40s. First Capital Holdings stresses that with the rise in borrowing pressure, it expects a gradual increase in pressure on bond yields throughout 2020, excluding fourth quarter where debt maturities are onto the lower side. Launching the Investment Strategy 2020 in Colombo yesterday, First Capital noted that its outlook for this year is neutral.
Our overall outlook is neutral. However, it's slightly better if you look at 2 years ago, the January 2018 situation. So, considering from that stage to now, yes, things have slightly improved, but overall outlook still remains neutral. On the foreign debt component is pretty high this year. So, we have a large amount of foreign debt to be paid, mainly with the sovereign bond coming in the third quarter. And then the rupee debt component that we have to pay is slightly lower. However, remember that we had a lot of tax cuts over the last couple of months, and then with that, First Capital Research is expecting that the budget deficit will be in the range of 7%. So with that, we will have a higher borrowing requirement in terms of rupees. So there will be higher borrowing pressure for the government. Then also we are expecting consumer demand to accelerate, which in turn will increase the amount of imports that we have. So with that, the trade deficit is likely to widen, and we are likely to have pressure, especially in the second half of the year, in terms of interest rates and also exchange rate.
Speaking at the launching ceremony of the Investment Strategy 2020 of First Capital Holdings, its research head Dimantha Matthew highlighted that First Capital Holdings expects debt to GDP to marginally dip to 84% this year with the acceleration of GDP growth and possible large FDIs led by the port city.
Right now, Sri Lanka continuously rolling over the debt and having slower GDP growth. Our debt to GDP actually has now increased to somewhere in the range of 85% of GDP. However, we believe from this year, debt to GDP will slightly move down because of our GDP actually accelerating. We are also looking at possibly some large FDIs coming, possibly from the port city, and also you may look at the Hambantota Port export processing zone. So those are options that are likely to happen.
Stay tuned for more news after this short. Welcome back after the break. Tourism Development Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that he will be submitting a cabinet paper soon with a plan to boost tourism in the country. Minister Ranatunga also added that the Higher Education Ministry and University Grants Commission will also join with him in this endeavour. Tourism Development Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that the ministry has sought the possibilities of establishing a single agency consolidating the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, as well as the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. Minister Ranatunga said that the cabinet paper will be presented in the Cabinet of Ministers next week itself and the new agency will be named Sri Lanka Tourism. Minister added that with the necessary amendments to the Tourism Act, they hope the consolidated agency will be in a better position to provide an efficient service to all stakeholders of the industry. Minister Ranatunga pointed out that Tourism Act No. 38 of 2005 had divided the entire tourism sector into four main institutions, which include the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, and Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. The minister also added that the government was also focusing on transforming the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management into a degree awarding university. He further noted that the Higher Education Ministry and the University Grants Commission were presently conducting a feasibility study to identify whether it would be transformed into a university under the purview of the UGC or a locally or foreign affiliated university. Japan inked two agreements to provide 30 million rupees for the projects of constructing a causeway in Buttala in Monoragala district and for the construction of a psychiatry unit at Divisional Hospital in Nilaveli in Trincomalee district. The financial assistance for the two projects are funded by the Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Projects. The grant contracts were signed by Japanese Ambassador Akira Sugiyama with President of Dimuthu Community Development, Venerable Nagolle Nandaratana Thero, and Senior Council Member of Sri Lanka College of Psychiatrists, Dr. Jayan Mendes. It is noted that residents of Buttala are severely inconvenienced since they currently have to cross a river approximately 3 to 5 kilometers in length by foot to access city in the vicinity. But with the construction of the causeway, it will provide 2,500 villagers a safe and easier access to main towns compared to the current situation. On the other hand, Senior Council Member of Sri Lanka College of Psychiatrists, Dr. Jayan Mendes, explained the benefits of the construction of a psychiatry unit at Divisional Hospital in Nilaveli in Trincomalee district.
In fact, there is no intermediate care model available in Trincomalee district, and we visited that hospital. They had only acute ward. Then the psychiatrist and the provincial director and the regional director, they have been trying to develop this intermediate care unit. Because of that, we thought that we need to look funding for that. I'm very happy that Japanese embassy accepted our project proposal.
Lawyers Association affiliated to UNP-led alliance Samagi Jana Balavegiya challenges the government to prosecute the culprits of the central bank bond scam since it is one of the key election promises of the present government. This and many other criticisms were levelled against the government at the maiden press briefing of the lawyers' wing of the Samagi Jana Balavegiya held in Colombo yesterday. Addressing the press briefing yesterday, Secretary of the Lawyers Wing of Samagi Janabalavega, Attorney at Law Gunaratna Vaninayaka emphasized that the present government would not prosecute the culprits linked to the central bank bond scam, since the 5 forensic audit reports include information on treasury bond transactions that had taken place between 2002 and 2015. Attorney at Law Vaninayaka noted that any attempt on prosecuting the offenders of the central bank bond scam will backlash the government, especially at the height of the general election. Speaking about the Airbus deal that had occurred during the President Mahinda Rajapaksa's tenure, Attorney at Law Gunaratna Vaninayaka demanded an inquiry into 4 bank accounts believed to have benefited through commissions from the Sri Lankan Airlines and Airbus refleet deal. Moreover, during the media briefing, the lawyers scorned at the dual stance taken by the government on the MCC Compact. Just before the election, they claimed that it will divide the country with a corridor in between the country. They told that this agreement will be dismissed as soon as they come into power. But now nearly 3 months are gone, the discussions on the agreement are still on the air. Government's pre-election opinions on the MCC agreement seem to be changed now, added Attorney Vaninayaka. Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 16.82 points to close at 5,847.83 and the S&P SL 20 gained 23.45 points to close at 2,807.11. The turnover was 188 million rupees and over 10 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. With that, we will wrap up today's news. Send us your views, comments and ideas via our email address and our hotline, and also log into our Facebook page to be alert on the latest updates. Join us tomorrow with State of Business at the same time. Until then,